Hi, and welcome to episode 17 of the Lessons from the Core podcast with your host, Lisa Cara. This episode is sponsored by Cartier Productions. I'm so happy to have my cousin on this week, my cousin Carter Purtelle. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Thanks so much for being on. We've talked about this over a wee tiny drink here and there
Maybe a couple times.
over the last little bit. And yeah, super happy that we made it work. So again, welcome
Thank you
and
so
thanks for
much.
taking the time to be here.
Of course, my pleasure.
Carter is a Canadian filmmaker, mountaineer, and explorer. He's best known for his work as a travel documentary filmmaker and has been featured in the Toronto Star. Carter's work has also been shown in cinema and on YouTube. He's performed live at Second City Toronto, Yuk Yuks, and Absolute Comedy. And I have your poster right here.
Oh, it looks so good. If I do
We
say so.
had such a, and congratulations again for climbing, for setting your goal, for succeeding your
Thank
goal,
you so
and then,
much.
of course, and then turning it into applying all of your educational skills to making a film documentary about it.
Thank you. It was so fun. It was a really eye-opening and interesting and like life-changing experience, honestly. So much fun.
Well, and we had an amazing time as a family and everyone in Picton that got to go to the Regent Theatre. Shout out to them for hosting your movie. And then
Shout out to the Regent Theatre. Yeah, they were great.
it was fantastic. It was such a vibe. And then you raised money for, and how much money?
Yeah, we were raising money for the Loyalist Humane Society, which is the local cat and dog shelter,
Mhm.
and we raised over $1,500 for them. So that was really, really cool.
Congratulations.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah. That would have,
Completely out of expect blew my expectations away.
and that was all from ticket sales
All from ticket
for the
sales.
night.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
fantastic. Oh, nice. Well, we were so spoiled. We got to have a pre-party at the Acoustic Grill at our other cousin's restaurant. So you work there as well.
Yeah, that was great. That was so great to see everybody just before everything.
Yeah, and then have a nice red carpet event at
Yeah,
the
yeah.
at the Regent.
Feeling fancy, feeling like superstars. It was great.
And then so from being on stage with stand up and then, going on stage to talk about the film and all that, it takes a lot to put yourself out there like that. Is that something
hmm
that's always come natural to you or
I think it, it sort of I came out of my shell quite a bit in high school, specifically with like I guess drama class specifically, and just doing plays here and there. So that definitely helped. But when I was younger, I think I might have been a little bit more reserved. But then, yeah, going to college and doing stand-up comedy quite a bit puts you out there on the highest level, I would say. So you have to get used to it pretty quickly.
yeah, and was that a course that you took through school or just something you did extracurricular?
So it was, I actually went to school specifically for like comedy writing and comedy performance. So one of the classes in the diploma program was stand-up comedy specifically, and we had a bunch of other disciplines like there was improv and acting and physical comedy and sketch writing as well.
Oh, amazing. So has your
Yeah.
big dream always been like the Saturday Night Live type of
That would be fun. Yeah, I mean,
scenario?
I would certainly be open to that if they're interested.
The best. I've been watching that since, oh my gosh, I was so young. I can remember
Oh
seeing
yeah, it's
Friends
so
growing
great.
up. Yeah, so great. So many laughs.
So many laughs for sure.
And I also love that. So we also have our other cousin, as we said, Steve and Jenny, that have the acoustic
Mhm.
grill. We got to we've had so many family fun memories there all the time. We're there
So
a lot,
many.
so many with Summer. But we also had the brilliant idea of using our other cousins, and I've got the shirt on, Kojak. We
Yes,
both
Kojak.
used their music in our creative project. So at the beginning of the podcast here, I used one of their songs, as everyone know, and then tell me about your process of using which song. And I know, but tell our listeners which song.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So on Kojak's album Sure, which is the one that you're the shirt that you're wearing there, Lisa, their first song, I believe, is called Spunkmeyer, and it's their instrumental from the album, one of their instrumentals. And yeah, I used it in the basically in the whole credits of my film, and it just fit the vibe so perfectly. So
Mm-hmm.
I love that song.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I love their music, and we get spoiled with being able to see them live.
We do whatever we want. It's great.
Yeah, such a cool stage with the grill and then other places in around Picton. So I love that. It's
Hmm.
such a nice family creative event to
Hmm.
put
Hmm.
everyone's creative things together and
It's great to yeah, it's great to use everybody else's creative things in your own. So you're giving them publicity and also getting really great artistic work for your own creative work.
yeah,
You know.
yeah, it's such a win-win and to share out
Hmm.
everyone's like creative side. I love it. I love it. And so as you were, so have you always been an avid like hiker, walker? Is that part of your physical routine?
I think I've always been a fairly physical and sporty person. I don't know if like hiking specifically has always been my forte. I enjoy hiking and I've done it a few times in the past kind of thing, but specifically mountaineering is like really interesting to me. So that's kind of why I started doing it. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think it was ever really a childhood thing or an adolescent thing. It was mostly like hockey and basketball and conventional stuff and like skiing and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then as you went, so as you're away and you're traveling, you're obviously, you're always going to document all parts of it and that kind of thing. But
Hmm.
when did you really decide, okay, I'm going to make this a bigger project than you kind of
Yeah, then
knew?
just like a little bit of
Yeah.
documentation kind of thing. Um, I mean, I definitely went into the trip knowing that I wanted to document most of it, and I knew that I wanted to show all of the footage and all of the things I captured to my family and friends. What I
Hmm.
didn't know is that I was going to end up putting it out there at it for a theater release and to have so much support from the community. And I totally thought it was just going to be like a small little YouTube video, you know, of
And so how
highlights
did
kind
it
of
go
thing.
from YouTube video to let's screen it at the Regent?
I think the idea got thrown around a little bit by some of my close friends and family members.
Mhm.
And then I sort of took that and was like, okay, well, I probably could actually do that and we could have fun with it and we could maybe either raise money or, you know, just have a fun night for everybody
Mhm.
and yeah, so I think the idea was just kind of thrown around and then I ran with it.
Mhm. And the equipment that you used for that filming, did you already have it
Yeah.
or did you have to do a lot of specific research for
Yeah,
everything?
I purchased a lot of it beforehand, going into it, and I did do quite a bit of research on it because I wanted to make sure I got it all correct. Didn't want to be up at 18,000 feet. Camera's
Yes.
not working, microphone's not working, your handles falling apart, so your battery's
Right.
dying. You
Your
didn't want any of
batteries,
that,
yeah,
so
because you said you had to have a few battery packs, I'm assuming,
yeah,
to
I had a couple really high quality battery packs to keep everything charged. Yeah, he didn't want it to die up there. It would have been unfortunate for sure.
Yes, yeah, no, that footage was unbelievable. And now it's fully released out on YouTube. So we'll be sure to link up the movie below and even link up the ways to keep donating to the Loyalist Humane Society if anyone wants to
Awesome.
keep donating there. That would be amazing. And tell us about like some of your, if you do have any next creative projects on the go or on the horizon.
Yeah, absolutely. So my friend and I are talking about going to climb a mountain in South America called Aconcagua, and it's the tallest peak in the Western Hemisphere outside of the Himalayas, basically. So hopefully, going to go down there within the next year and film that up. Um, should be a good time. And other than that, I want to go over to Area 51 actually over in Nevada, the supposed alien government base
Right.
where there might be aliens, and do some filming over there, and just interview the locals and see what they have to say about the whole thing, and just interesting stuff. Kind of, it's just
Hmm.
I probably won't find any aliens, but it would be fun to
Do you have
go
a
and check it
timeline
out.
for when you want to go check it out, or like
Yeah,
you got some travel plans on the go?
that'll probably be in the summertime, something like that, and then I'll probably have a film released around September or October for that, ideally.
Yeah.
And then with Aconcagua in South America next year, hopefully, um, sometime around Christmas to early March. Ideally, we're gonna go.
Yeah.
So
And will that be much different from your last climb in terms of challenge or climate?
yeah, yeah, it'll the climate will be very similar. The challenge is a little bit more difficult just because the mountain um is about 3 to 4 thousand feet taller.
Okay.
So it's going to be
So,
a little bit more of an altitude and a little bit more of a physical challenge. It's also a little bit more of a time commitment. Um,
okay.
Kilimanjaro only takes about for me personally, we took about 8 days, but Aconcagua takes almost 20, so it's about double the
Oh,
time with plus a couple
significantly.
days. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So
Okay.
that'll be a little bit more challenging, but I think I'm up for the challenge for
Yeah,
sure.
I
Yeah.
bet. And is there anyone out there that you really wish would see the film?
And I wish would see the film.
Mhm.
I think people who are interested in just an overall demographic, people who are interested in seeing certain parts of the world that maybe they don't know what they look like, or would never maybe go to them themselves, I
Mhm.
guess.
Mhm.
I mean, I feel like mountain climbing is pretty niche, and a lot of people don't necessarily get to do it or specific mountains. So if you have any interest in seeing what uh, one of the tallest mountains in the world looks like on film, then definitely give it a watch for sure. It's interesting.
Yeah, it was very interesting and just to see some of the different terrain
Yeah.
and so how was it? You said the food was really good. Like you had a
Oh
full
yeah.
team there
Hmm. Yeah,
completely catering.
we
Yeah.
had a crazy amount of a team on the kitchen staff. Like they were pumping out food like crazy. They had different types of pasta, a whole lot of different breakfast foods in the morning, rice, meats. Um, they even baked us a cake the one day. I remember
Oh,
saying that
nice.
at the Q&A, but yeah, the
Yeah.
one guy had his birthday on the mountain, so the guys they baked him a cake. It was so cool
Oh,
at like
wow.
16,000 feet. It
And
was crazy.
did you do a lot? Like, how did you find that particular touring company?
Oh, they were great.
Like,
If
did
anybody's
you have to do a
interested,
lot of research? Was it word of mouth?
Yeah, yeah, I did quite a bit of research. Just finding the right price point for me and finding the right amount of amenities, kind of
Hmm.
thing. And you want to go with a company that's responsible as well, that pays the local operators a decent living wage. You
Hmm.
want to go with a company that's environmentally responsible, that's not leaving garbage on the mountain. You got to look into all these things. But they're great. Their names are Climb Keely, actually.
Okay.
They're
I
based out
like
of
that.
Salt Lake City in Utah, I believe.
Okay,
But
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that's good points to think about for researching because some of that you wouldn't necessarily think about or wouldn't know how to even go about finding out the
Yeah,
info. So,
exactly. Yeah, yeah. And I mean, most of the companies are relatively similar. Some of the price points are different for more amenities, mainly like yeah, just like
like how the tent goes and that kind of thing and just
yeah, yeah. Like I
camping
guess
and
I would consider what I did to be sort of like a uh not a premium, but like a business class, I guess you could say. Whereas like
okay, like more
some
of a
more like
glamping.
yeah, 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 exactly. So we had,
Okay.
like we had functional toilets, they were private. We had our own team of cooks and chefs. We had our own group of porters carrying most of our stuff. But yeah, you get into some of the first class amenities, and you've got a lot more glamping for sure.
Okay. Well, that's good to know that there's a wide variety of options because
Yeah, yeah.
there's different aspects of it that I'm sure you'd be really into the long length of just being in nature, but other people might be wanting to get a bit more comfortable with sleeping.
Exactly, exactly.
And about how cold was it during the night, like during sleeping?
Yeah, so as we were down a little bit lower on the mountain, it wasn't too bad, to be honest. It was probably between in as far as Celsius goes, between 0 and -5 most of the time down low.
Okay.
And then as we got quite a bit higher at night, I would say it got to about -15 on the one night.
Okay.
Very, very cold. You'd wake up with just like frost all over you, all over your tent, all over your sleeping bag, kind of thing. And so that was definitely less than ideal, but it was uh, it was still fun. It was part of the experience.
Yes, yes. And
Being
knowing
cold
you were
is.
doing it over a certain period of time and yeah,
Mhm,
yeah, yeah.
mhm.
And just for that, yeah, the experience, my gosh. Um,
Yeah, no kidding.
yeah, and then all the, as we said, like all the amazing creative projects that have come out of it. I'm sure this is just the beginning for just getting, even as you said, planting those seeds for future trips, whether
Mhm.
it's something that's longer, a more difficult climb, bringing other people with you. Like there's so many, I'm sure you're going to open
Yeah,
so many
exactly.
doors. Yeah.
I'm excited for the future. I mean, I keep telling everybody that Kilimanjaro is just the beginning, and they look at me like I've got two heads. Like, really, Kilimanjaro is just the beginning? Jeez, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I always love to ask my guests these three questions. So my
Hmm.
first question for you is what's a red flag moment that you've had in your life that taught you one of your biggest lessons from the core? So it could be personal, professional, something.
Yeah, for sure. I think so. My motto, I guess my motto these days has been to sort of like do things in life that make you scared,
Mhm.
um, because you're going to learn things about yourself, and you're going to have so much fun in the process, even if it's scary as um, but I think the red flag moment for me was when I first uh, stepped on a plane for the first time, and I realized just how big the world was, I guess, kind of
Yeah.
thing. And just a little fun fact about me, I'm actually terrified of flying. Like, I don't like flying at all.
Okay, so
Which
that
is,
was a big feat. Just
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
And I mean, when I was a kid, I think it was not as bad, but as I've gotten older, it's gotten worse. But I love to travel, so it's a bit of it's a conflicting thing. But I do it obviously because I like to travel, and I like to go see the world and see places, um, and all that. But definitely. when I got on a plane for the first time was when I realized, oh wow, there's a lot to see out there, I think, that
Yes.
I've just never seen before.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Travel is so such a gift for that, right? Just to expose us
absolutely,
to
yeah.
different
Hmm.
cultures and different food and everything. Yeah. Well, I'm
Oh
glad you're
yeah,
able to face
absolutely.
your flying fear and go
Thank you.
for it. Because yeah, it
Thank
can be
you.
a lot, right? Especially with fears like that. It's a lot to like, okay, I know this is gonna suck, but I'm gonna get through this part and it's gonna be unbelievable on the other side.
Exactly, yeah. And it's so interesting to me as well because like I'll and people have told me this like I'll go up a crazy high mountain and there's a possibility of death around every corner, but flying is like one of the safest statistically methods of transportation, and I'm terrified of that, and it just doesn't logically it doesn't make sense, but in my brain I can't tell it anything else. I can't tell it
If
any
I
other
told
way.
you what I'm afraid of, it would make no sense. That is
Oh yeah.
going up escalators.
Oh, that's a very common one. I feel like.
I
Yeah,
can
yeah,
go
yeah, yeah.
down, no problem, but
Oh,
having to go up an
really?
escalator, oh, I
Oh,
just
interesting. Is
dislike.
there anything that specifically the going down versus going up
Going
that's
up by the
difficult?
end of it, I feel like I'm leaning so far forward because I'm afraid I'm going to fall backwards. So I
Oh,
can't even
okay,
like stand
interesting.
upright straight because I'm just like scared. Yeah, it's
Of
not good.
falling backwards. Oh,
Yep.
that's
But
wild.
going down, I'm okay because I know I'm going down and whatever. But yes, going up an
Yeah.
escalator, not my friend. Not my
Not my
friend.
friend. We're not friends. We're fighting.
And then my second question is, what's your favorite Pilates exercise? And if you don't do Pilates, well then
Ooh,
exercise in general.
that's a good question. I mean, I'm not sure if it's specifically Pilates. Don't I don't necessarily. I think it might be yoga.
Hmm.
I'm not 100% sure, but I love doing just because it feels great. The Cobra, like where
Oh,
you
very nice. Yes,
like
lying
it's
on your
so
stomach,
nice, right? It stretches
extension.
out. Oh, it stretches my back out like crazy, and it feels so nice. So that would probably be
Yes.
my favorite.
And it's
Definitely have done many of those in my day.
I love it. And especially with, when you're editing and computer work and working on videos and stuff like that, we can get
Hmm.
so consumed with our creative projects and we sometimes
Hmm.
forget to take those body breaks. So yes,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's
Oh
so
my God, that's
important.
so important.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
When you're sitting down for hours on end. I mean, my ever since I got an Apple Watch, it's been reminding me to, hey man, stand up
To
every
breathe
so
and
often.
yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So that's
Because
been kind of nice
especially when
too.
we're doing something that we love, like on the
Hmm.
computer, right into a creative task.
Exactly.
Yeah, it
Exactly.
can be
Yeah.
so easy to like, what? Did I eat lunch? Did I do
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Oh wait, I have
Where do
kids.
I
I
have to
probably should
be?
check on my
I have a
kids.
job I have to go to. Okay.
Yeah, literally.
But yeah, it's I love that. It's huge. So I'm glad that you do that and the Cobra or Swan or yeah, whether it's Pilates,
Uh-huh.
yoga,
Uh-huh.
same, love it. It's so good for the back to open up and
Oh,
extend through the
absolutely.
spine. Yeah, love that.
Yeah.
And my third question is, well, I asked you before, but I was going to ask, do you have any passions to write a book? Now, yours might all
To write a
be
book? Oh,
filmmaking,
that's a
but
great question. I mean, I certainly I haven't even really thought about it, but I certainly would be open to the idea. I think maybe in the future, once I get more maybe either mountaineering or just extreme travel experience under my belt, I would be more than interested in putting it all into one place for a book. That would be really cool, I think.
cool, cool. And at least, as you mentioned before, you've got definitely some more film projects on your
Yeah, in the
mind
go.
and some
Yeah.
goals for that, which is super cool. And maybe even goals for getting those screened again on the big.
I hope so. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm
yeah.
pretty tight with the amazing Regent Theatre, so maybe we'll put it up there. Maybe we'll go somewhere
It
else.
was such
We'll
a
see.
fun experience, and just
Oh,
even
it was so
leading up
fun.
to it,
Yeah, yeah.
and then afterwards we went to Russ and Co. That was the first time we had been
Oh
there.
yeah,
I'm
what
sure
a
you guys
great
have been there a
spot.
lot. Yeah, that was super
Yeah.
fun, really cool decor. So
Hmm.
many fantastic places in and around the county. And
You can't count them. There's so many of them. There's
yeah,
so many
yeah.
good ones.
And I've had the pleasure of having my one and only, or my first opportunity to work at a restaurant with my hosting fun at the
Yes,
grill.
yes, you did such a great job as well. That was a pretty busy night and you did great.
That was a busy night. Yeah, we have so much fun there. Oh my gosh. And
Oh, that's
so
such a
many
great
late
spot.
nights and so many fun times, and from
Hmm,
the
hmm.
beginning, from when they opened, and because I opened, actually Steve and I both opened at the same time. I opened my brick and mortar Pilates studio that same
Uh-huh.
2006 as he did.
2006, right?
Yes, I'll
Yeah.
be having another anniversary coming up. We'll have to come
In
down.
March, right?
Spring, I think it was like springtime. For
Spring.
me, it was like July, but he was more like spring.
Oh, okay,
Or maybe
cool.
it was in the took it over in that winter time, but then opened in the spring. But yeah,
Uh,
coming up too, it's crazy how the years fly by
yeah,
and
no kidding.
time. Oh
Oh,
my
that's
gosh.
crazy.
Yeah,
Congrats
time
though. That's
flies.
awesome.
Thanks. And then yeah, that's as we always say with the kids, my kids like can't get enough of hanging out at the grill and having all the fun family times with all of you guys. You make it so fun for them. So
Awesome.
it's
Well, they're pretty
awesome.
fun too. So
They
they make it
are.
easy.
They are. They're very well behaved. They get along well. They're very helpful. And
Exactly. Those are all great qualities to have.
yeah, and they love getting all their beach time in and just all the fun county stuff. So we're lucky.
Hmm.
But I want to thank you, Carter, so much for being on today. It's been so amazing to have you on. As I said, we had such a great time watching the film and just getting all the behind the scenes of you promoting it and putting it out at the Regent and all the things. So thanks so much.
Of course, it was so much fun, and thank you so much to yourself and your family for driving down to see it. Like that's so cool.
Oh,
That's
it was our
awesome.
pleasure. It was top of the list for the weekend. We were so
So
excited to
fun.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, thank
thanks
you.
everyone for being here on this episode 17 of the Lessons from the Core podcast. We thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thanks, Carter.
Thank you.